Okay, folks, this is the first task for the National Graphics class. So we're looking at the house on page 28 of your course book, just as an introduction to getting some modelling going and some actually some drawing. So the project, as I mentioned, the projects that we're going to be looking at initially are building some of your CAD skills, which is a really important part of the course, and part of that is starting to understand some of the requirements, some of the British standards related to drawing. So there's a little drawing at the bottom here. So this first task you're going to do is you're going to model this little house, and then you're going to create an orthographic drawing of that model, and we'll start looking at what sort of things should be on that drawing as well. So to do that, you'll need to be in the Onshape. So I've been over to Onshape here. Here's the model I've had a shot at doing. And you're going to do a little drawing, something like this. So in terms of Onshape, this is a video that shows you how to access Onshape if you haven't already done so, how to register. Also, you'll need to double check that you are working with, if I just go here, the education subscription. If it doesn't say education there, you need to go and have a look at how you re-register, because every year it kicks you off, and we won't be able to do a lot of the stuff we do unless you've got that education subscription. So just double check that you've got that, and then you will be able to start a document. You can create the model. I'm not going to go through how to create that model. The sizes are all on the sheet here roughly. I actually made that 15 because 10 looked a bit rubbish, but as long as you've got it about right, the garage, and then the shelling, the inside parts as well. So you can make that. Then you're going to put a drawing. Now, just for ease, when we do our drawings, we tend to have the same sort of standard layout. So I've created one for you that you can use in Onshape. There's one we use in Inventor, and we'll look at creating our own stuff later. But for now, if you want to all use the standard one, just means that you've got the right sort of dimensions and the right sort of layouts. So if you go, when you're in Onshape, if you go back to your sort of your desktop, your what they call it, a dashboard type thing here, and if you go to on the left here, you've got Onshape, recently opened, created by me, shared, public. If you click in the public task, this is where anyone who creates something in Onshape can share it. So you got all sorts of crazy things that people have made. Some people spend a lot of time on this, as you can see. Some of them you'll look at and go, oh, I could do a better job than that. But anyway, there's lots of models. But what I want you to do in there is to search for a GGS template, but make sure that it says here search in public. If it isn't, and it's just searching for your files, you're not going to find it. So GGS and template, I created a file and I made it public that you can now steal effectively and you can use. So it takes a minute just to go through the whole world, but here we've got a template, and there's a few here that various other people, other students have made, and they've left them public. So if you grab this one's fine. So if you go on this one here, it's a public document. It's because it's public, all Onshape users can view it. So anyone in the world can view that. That's Dylan's. I'm going to choose the one that's made by Mr. Nurse, by me. I'm going to open it, and I want a copy of that. Now, because that is my own document, I can edit it. I can do what I like to it because it's mine. When you do it, it will say at the top here, make a copy. So what I want you to start off by doing is to make a copy. In fact, if I maybe do a copy of, let's see, if I do a copy of Mr. Farquhar's, I think it was there, wasn't it? If I picked that one, I'll show you. It should say, where are we? Come on. View only. And in the second, it will say, make a copy. It should be able to anyway. Okay, so at the bottom here, I've got drawing 1 and 2, drawing GGS template. This document is view only, make a copy. Okay, so if that's what I want. If I go to this, anyone here, GGS drawing template, make a copy. Call it something sensible, like you could call it GGS drawing template or your name drawing template or what you like. I'll do that as well. And I'm going to press OK. and that, once it's finished, that will then load your, so you now have got access to this. This is now something you can edit and you can modify. So we'll go to template. Now, I'm going to go back to my main Onshape dashboard. And that now will be, here it is, it's now appearing. I'm still in public. If I go to my Onshape, it's appeared here, look. So it's now one of my documents. So that's great. I've now got that version. So yours will be whatever you call it. Right, so if I go back to my house that I was just drawing a minute ago, this one here. So I've got myself the template, I've copied the template from the public sort of domain, I've got it. What I want to do now, when I've modeled my my house, my model, I want to create a drawing. So this is where we can add other parts, assemblies and various other features. So the little plus, add a drawing, and it's going to ask you for a template. So there's standard ones that come with it, but we're not going to use them. We're going to use the one that we've just copied. So you should be able to go either recently opened or my Onshape, and it should appear. It takes a while just to kind of search them all, but there they are. So there's that one I've just created. So you should have one that is whatever you've called it. If you click on that and use it, you end up with a blank page. That's a blank page onto which you can now add views. So those of you who've used Inventor before and have put drawings in, it's a very similar process. The way it works in Onshape is it automatically kind of looks for files that are open. So remember, we're in this part studio where we've got our house. So it's sort of default is to say, oh, you've got one open. Is that the one you want? In this case, that's the one I want. If it was another document I wanted to, I could go and search for other documents, other views, other things. But that's what I want, part one. So I click on that. I can bring my mouse over here. It gives a little preview. I'm going to start actually with, I think it'll be the right side, so I can change the view in that little window there. Take a minute just to refresh. There we go. That's the view. I want that view there. And it will give me, once I've clicked that, it will give me an option to add another projected view. Okay, so that's my end elevation. And if I want to put a plan on, nothing's happening. It only gives you two for some reason. So you have to click on your first one and then move out to get the plan view. So I start with the right view and I've projected the end elevation, clicked on the right view again, and I've gone up to the plan. So they're the three views. Now that is laid out correctly. That is what we call orthographic projection. It's what we've worked with right through from S1. We've got the little symbol here that's telling us that this view here, the view on the left, is the view to the left of this front view, which fits, because if you stood over here, you would see the garage. Okay, so you can lay that out correctly. Putting dimensions on, we've got a dimension tool here. It's not the best in terms of the leader lines, and the arrowheads are a bit wee. I'll need to have a look and see. They are there, look, but they're very small. I need to look and see if I can change that. And there is a gap between the model and the lines. But if you put in a few dimensions on there, and then you'd need to label your views. Oops, that. There we go. And labeling views, you're just going to use a text tool, so you can drop a text in there. I'm going to go plan. Now to start with, I want you just to have a go at doing this, and then what we can do is we can share the stuff that we've done, and we can discuss online somehow what we've got right or what we need to change. You know, is it going to meet the standards? But the first task really is just for you to have a go at creating the shape, so getting your modeling skills, and then doing a little drawing. Hire students who will be watching this to get the idea of how getting your drawing. If you've got curves, cylinders in your model that you're making, then you'll need to look at using the center marks or the center lines to put in the lines that you'd need. Down the bottom there, if I just escape out of that, you can double click on the little title blocks here, and you can change the text. Here we go, it's coming through, and dates and all that sort of thing. And that's you done. So what I suggest you do is, I've called mine house page 28, but once you've done the house one, there's no reason why you can't, even in this Onshape document, you could add another part, studio, which will drop in here, and you could then start modeling the next one, which is going to be this prism here. There's some sizes that will be shown up at the top. Okay, so once you've done your first one, you can either just start a new Onshape document and do your next one and a drawing with that one, or you could do them all in the same document, just by having different tabs along the bottom. That's entirely up to you. If you get totally stuck, obviously send me an email, I'll put these instructions up on the classroom as well, but just so that you're not completely lost on things you haven't done before, hopefully that as a guide, that will help you find the drawing template, and it'll help you put the views in and start putting some dimensions on. Okay, I'll leave it there for now.